I'm sure many of you will have heard of the CERN laboratory in Switzerland, a crucial ingredient in the Dan Brown thriller Angels and Demons. It's nearly 2 years since the Large Hadron Collider there discovered the elusive Higgs boson. Much smaller than an atom. It's basically the glue which holds everything together. I hope you're keeping up here. But what's happened since, and what will CERN do in the future? Well, that's largely down to a scientist from Birmingham. We can cross live to CERN now in Geneva, and our science correspondent David Gregory-Kumar. Sounds like a huge honour this for the Midlands, David. A Midlands scientist leading the research.
It is indeed, Nick. Let me explain a bit about where we are. This is the ATLAS control room here at CERN. ATLAS is the largest experiment here at CERN, and it's one of the ones that did the Higgs boson, as you mentioned. And we're the first program to ever broadcast live from this control room. But then we've got friends in high places, as we're about to find out. First of all, we've got some whizzy computer graphics to show you to explain how things work here. CERN is a 27-kilometre ring, and what they do is they accelerate particles in opposite directions right around it, and then they smash them together at certain points. And one of those points is here at ATLAS. Now, we're in the control room on the surface. The experiment is deep underground, and ATLAS's job is to use its giant detectors to understand what's left after these collisions. That's how they made and, more importantly, measured the Higgs boson. But of course, that's what they set out to do. Now they've done it, coming up to the second anniversary, what are they going to do next? Well, that's going to be down to a University of Birmingham scientist who's been elected by the 3,000 scientists here at ATLAS to decide the future direction of the science they do here. And it's all going to start, of course, right under my feet.
90 metres below the ground.
So welcome to the ATLAS detector itself, and you see...
Meet Professor David Charlton from the University of Birmingham, the person in charge of the largest experiment at CERN, ATLAS.
In July 2012 we announced the discovery of the Higgs boson, and the Higgs bosons themselves were made right in there in the centre of the detector.
So the whole experiment weighs about 7,000 tonnes, and that means ATLAS is actually slowly sinking over the course of time. A few millimetres a year, so they have special jacks to lift it back up so it doesn't get out of alignment.
Professor Charlton was elected by his fellow scientists to be the person in charge of ATLAS. He's the first British person to head up the experiment, which involves 3,000 different researchers. He spends his time down with the experiment, but also in meetings, lots of meetings. But having discovered the Higgs boson, why are they carrying on? What is it they still want to discover?
We want to understand how the universe is made, what the fundamental components of the universe are. It's really to try and understand what everything is made of and how things work and fit together. And so it's almost a cultural thing.
So to continue the search, CERN is being upgraded, made much more powerful, looking for new things and also looking to learn more about the Higgs.
With such a large experiment, we really try to cover the full range of the physics that we can do with the experiment. So when we come back, the energies of the collisions will be much higher, and so we will have the capability to see if there's new things that start to show up with the new higher energies. But we will also look in great detail. We will study the Higgs particle that we've discovered in much more depth than we have so far, so to make sure that we understand it.
When it's switched back on next year, all eyes will be on ATLAS and Professor Charlton to see what they find next. David Gregory-Kumar, BBC Midlands Today, CERN.
Well, as you said, everyone here is focused on getting things back up and running for next year. But because everything's actually not switched on at the moment, it means we can get inside and show you some of the bits of CERN you wouldn't normally see, including the bits that were made in the Midlands. And they turned out to be really vital to the future of this particular experiment. So we'll have more on that tomorrow. In the meantime, if you'd like to come and visit CERN, you can. It's free to get in. There's no entry charge. They have thousands of visitors a year, from celebrities like will.i.am through to school children, tourists, even tomorrow, the King of Belgium. I've put all the details on my blog at bbc.co.uk/David Gregory-Kumar if you fancy popping out to see what goes on. There's even a low-cost airline with flights direct to Geneva, and you can get the tram. It's just half an hour from the airport. All the details are on my blog, and tomorrow we'll explain more about how important the Midlands is, not just to what this experiment is doing in the future, but to getting CERN up and running in the first place. Back to you, Nick.
David, thanks very much indeed.